Does Jack Billingham, Sparky Anderson selection to try and make it 5 victories in a row for the Cincinnati Reds, and it was Billingham who pitched the first of what has been a 4-game winning streak. That, of course, was Monday night in Atlanta when the Reds defeated them 23-9. Jack pitching a nifty 17-hitter. We say that jokingly because Joey's gotten a lot of heat about it.
Oh, we call him the Dazzler now. We used to call him the Ace, now it's the Dazzler. But, you know, like, again, I keep going back to John on the pregame show tonight, Turfside, and, you know, you get into a ball game like that, and all of a sudden you're out front so much, and all you're trying to do is throw the ball over the plate and make them hit the baseball, and the Braves did that without a doubt. Marty, I'd like to say right now, I hope Jack's arm feels as good as John McSherry's. It was kind of funny when the umpiring crew walked out, McSherry behind the plate tonight. He took the baseball for the start of the game and thought he would just ease it out to the mound, and the thing wound up in shallow center.
In the air?
No, just rolled it, you know.
Well, Billingham is all ready to go to work now as he seeks to pick up his 3rd victory of the season. 1-0 against the Cubs in 1976 and is 10-3 against his club lifetime. So if you believe in percentages, you have to like Billingham's chances tonight to knock off Chicago. Ivan De Jesus, their leadoff batter and shortstop. Into the batter's box as he waves the bat around. Billingham looks to Johnny Bench. The right-hander winds, kicks, and throws. The pitch is swung on, line to second. Joe has it. And this game is underway. Ball was hit hard and off to the right of Morgan, who went down on a knee and spearing it. And I don't really think that Joe really knew he had it until he checked his glove and saw the ball in it. So De Jesus, who likes to go after early pitches, jumping on Billingham's first to line to second. And in now with 1 out is Jose Cardenal, their left fielder. Batting only 191, he's off to a very, very slow start. Uncharacteristic for this veteran outfielder. Breaking ball misses high to him. He's hit a homer, and he's knocked in 2 runs. His home run came on Wednesday when the Cubs were decimated by the St. Louis Cardinals 21-3. Right-handed batter. The 1-0 pitch to him is swung on and bounced foul off the third base line as the count draws even at 1-1. Just looking at Cardinal's lifetime batting average would give you an indication of what kind of slow start he's in. 277 last year, batted 299. In fact, has had some super years with the Cubs since he came up with them or joined them in 1972. Pitch is swung on, hit deep down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's a home run, and it's a foul ball. Just curving foul at the last moment. That ball settling into that mass of humanity up in the green seats and left. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Marty, that was it looked like a high change, and you get the ball up and around Mr. Cardinal's letters, and you're asking for trouble, and thank goodness there's a foul pole out there, and it was to the left of it.
I'll buy that. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cardenal, since 72, has been a starter for this club. Is at 291, 303, 293, 317, and 299. So he's had some excellent years. 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is first baseman Bill Buckner. Billingham sends in the pitch, and it swung on and missed. The change got him. Jack chalks up his first, and with 2 out, it'll be Buckner standing in as we check out the Reds defensively for you. At first base, Dan Driessen. At second, Joe Morgan. At shortstop, Dave Concepcion. At third base, Pete Rose. George Foster is in left. Cesar Geronimo is in center. Ken Griffey in right. Johnny Bench catching the pitches of Jack Billingham behind the plate. 2 out. Buckner hitting .381 with no homers, 4 runs batted in, and all 4 of his RBIs have come against Cincinnati. Left-handed batter. Pitch to him is taken below the knees of ball. Buckner with some fine years in a Dodger uniform, now with the Cubs. First change of teams in his major league career. Swing and a line shot foul down to the Cincinnati bullpen. So Billingham with 2 down and a 1-1 count on Bill Buckner in the top of the first inning. The pitching for the Reds the last 3 games has been very, very good. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Fastball is outside and high, ball 2. The pitching turnaround began on Tuesday night when Freddie Norman and Raleigh Eastwood combined to limit Atlanta to 3 hits. Then Zachary with a root-going performance, a 5-hitter on Wednesday. Here's a line drive into left center field. Geronimo drifting back, makes the catch, and the side retires. 3 men up, 3 men down. We played a half inning of baseball with a score. Cubs nothing. The Reds are coming to bat. Bottom of the first inning, and 26-year-old right-hander Ray Burris will be on for the Chicago Cubs tonight, trying to make it 2 wins over the Reds inside of a week's time. He beat us last Sunday in Wrigley Field in Chicago, allowing Cincinnati 13 hits, but still coming out a winner by a score of 7-1. He comes into the game with a record of 2 wins, 2 losses, a .267 earned run average, making a start number 5 in this game, and that one root-going performance against Cincinnati, his lone complete game today. Pete Rose, who owns a 15-game hitting streak, will start things off for our side as Burris comes to the plate, and Rose takes a strike on the inside corner. The ball kicking away from George Mitterwald. 0-1 on Rose, who's in tonight, batting .319. 1 home run, 10 RBIs, which is 3rd best on the club. The strike 1 pitch is taken inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dave Concepcion on deck, and then it'll be Ken Griffey. Rose takes a fastball high, 2-1. Pete has simply been scorching in this 15-game hitting streak. 21 hits and 59 times up for a .356 batting average. He's a pitch away now from getting a walk as Burris misses with a curveball. 3-1. Right-hander with a wind in the pitch, and Rose with a swing and a foul ball down the left field line and out of play. Pete playing in his 509th consecutive game. He ties tonight Beta Pinson for 3rd place among the all-time club leaders in that particular department. Frank McCormick leads with 652. Roy McMillan next in line at 585. So Rose should break that record before the season is over. He again fouls off the 3-2 pitch, and the count is full and holding. Pete has not missed a game since September 26, 1973, and his consecutive game streak the longest among active major leaguers. 3-2 delivery, ball 4. Rose opens our first with a walk. Burris, who had issued only 3 bases on balls in his first 27 1/3 innings this season, walks the first man he faces in this game, and now will be working to shortstop Dave Concepcion. Davey has been one man that Cub pitching very rarely has been able to retire. The 2 clubs have met 3 times. David has been up 12 plate appearances and has responded with 8 base hits. Chicago infield setting itself at double play depth. Burris delivers, Rose goes, bouncer to the box. Burris turns, throws to De Jesus 1. Throw to first. It bounces away from Buckner and rolls into the Cincinnati dugout. So Davey will go on to second base. As Rose came in pretty well on De Jesus, he was running on the pitch. Concepcion a hard one-hopper right back to the box as they gained the force at second.
Artie, it didn't look like De Jesus had a good grip on the ball when he threw it, and I think he was looking at Pete, but yet it looked like the ball was kind of slipped out of his hand. So we got a job done. It cost us an out, but we got a man in scoring position.
That we do. Scored a fielder's choice. Charged De Jesus with a throwing error that'll put Concepcion at second base and bring up Ken Griffey. Kenny with 2 hits last night to jump his batting average up to .342. The pitch, Griffey takes it up. Ball 1. Bill Buckner at first, Manny Trillo second, Steve Ontiveros third, Ivan De Jesus shortstop. That's a Cub infield. And center, Joey Morales. To his right and left is Jose Cardenal, and to his left and right is Bobby Murcer. Mitterwald doing the catching. Kenny takes a strike. It's 1-1. Concepcion at second, 1 out. In the home first inning from Riverfront Stadium, no score. Burris a backward glance at second, and in with the 1-1 pitch. Ball 2, 2-1. Joe Morgan on deck. Griffey, 9 for his last 15. That's a .600 batting average, and has scored 8 runs in his last 4 games. Ball 3 and 1 strike. Well, Burris having trouble locating the strike zone and a little bit mystified with himself as he comes off toward the plate and off the mound to get the ball back from Mitterwald, and now the Cubs catcher will go out to the mound and talk about it. The Reds, in winning 4 straight games, now are 2 under the 500 mark with a record of 8 wins and 10 losses. They remain 7.5 games back of the Dodgers, who continued to roll last night, winning their 16th game in 19 tries as Tommy John fired a shutout. The Dodgers over the Montreal Expos 4-0. They had a crowd of 52,645 at Dodger Stadium. Burris needing a strike. Long look to second pitch. And that's ball 4, so the Reds get a couple of walks here in the opening frame as Griffey moves on to first base, and Morgan will stand in with 2 men on and 1 man out. In case you missed the particulars on that Dodger victory over Montreal, Ron Cey broke the Major League record for RBIs in the month of April. He picked up his 28th last night, despite going hitless. And things are going along very well in Los Angeles, California right now. Morgan looks at the pitch low. I think the unbelievable month that Cey has had somewhat overshadows a month that has been almost as good for California Angel Joe Rudi. He has knocked in 27 runs and hit his 5th home run last night. 2 balls and no strikes. Burris shaking his head. He's behind quickly 2-0 on Morgan, who has, well, gotten walks at an almost unbelievable pace. He's now walked 17 times in 18 games. 7 times total on Monday and Tuesday night in Atlanta, while last night he had a couple of walks and went officially 1 for 2 with a single. Concepcion second, Griffey first. Morgan takes it low, ball 3. One more pitch. The Reds are going to have the bases loaded, and Danny Driessen will be at the plate. 3 balls and no strikes on Morgan. Well, do you give Joe the green light in a situation such as this with a pitcher battling to find his control? Let's see. He's taking all the way, and the pitch is in for a strike. 3-1. Rose opened the inning with a walk. Concepcion forced him at second on a bouncing ball back to the mound, but Davey went to second on the overthrow by De Jesus, trying to get the double play, and Griffey walked. Morgan waiting on the 3-1 pitch. Runners go. That's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Concepcion and Griffey were on the run, but Burris missed, and he has walked the bases loaded here in the 1st inning.
Well, I guess it's a strange question to be asked and someone to answer it, but as you pointed out, Ray Burris had walked just 3 batters in 27 in the 3rd inning, and here all of a sudden he has walked 3 in 1 inning.
We may get some activity underway in the Cub bullpen. Paul Russell looks like he's shedding his jacket down that way and will begin to work. So the table is set for Danny Driessen. 3 on, 1 out. The pitch to the plate is taken for a strike. Concepcion third, Griffey second, Morgan first. The Reds being presented with a golden opportunity here in the 1st inning to get on the board. Driessen batting .254 with 3 homers and 14 RBIs. That one is just high, 1-1. Danny against Cubs pitching has had 2 hits in 11 times. Hitless last night. Hoping to zero in on Ray Burris in this situation right here. 1-1 pitch. Cut on and line to center field for a base hit. Here comes Concepcion. Griffey will score on Driessen single to center, and the Reds lead it 2-0. Line drive base hit to dead center by Driessen. Morgan moving to second as Concepcion and Griffey dead home plate. And it's 2-0 our side. Here's George Foster. Those 2 RBIs for Driessen give him now a total of 16, 2 less than this man here, Foster. So the walks come back to haunt Ray Burris. Foster hitting .323 with 3 home runs. Morgan and Driessen leading at second and first. Foster swings at the off-speed pitch and does not get it. Outfield for George, playing straight away and deep all the way around. Cardenal, Morales, Murcer. Here's a pickoff attempt at second, but Morgan is back ahead of the throw to Manny Trillo. Right-hander Paul Rushell, the man getting ready in the Chicago Cubs bullpen, as Burris is having a lot of troubles in the first inning. He's a strikeout in front of Foster in pitching. Inside, 1-1. Foster batting .400 against the Cubs, 4 for 10. He's knocked in a run. Here's a high pop-up in shallow center field. Manny Trillo, the second baseman, back and calling for it in right center now as he drifts back with the ball and makes a catch. 2 out on the Foster high pop to second, and strolling to the plate will be catcher Johnny Bench. John in at .228. He's homered 3 times. He's knocked in 8 runs. And we know the left-hander has joined Rushell down in the Cubs bullpen. Bench with 2 down. Swings, line shot down the left field line. Base hit. In the corner it goes. Morgan scores. They'll stop Driessen at third. Bench in at second base. RBI double, 3-0. Johnny Bench hammering a double to the .330 marker in the left field corner to plate the third Cincinnati run. Herman Franks is on his way to the mound. And you wonder if we're going to get a pitching change right here. With Willie Hernandez. The left-hander, along with Paul Rushell, as the meeting goes on the mound involving manager Franks, catcher Mitterwald, pitcher Burris. Cesar Geronimo will be the 8th man to hit in what has so far been a 3-run first for Cincinnati. Bench picking up his 9th RBI on his 4th 2-base hit of the season. And now Geronimo batting .200 with 2 home runs and 7 runs knocked in. They're going to give him an intentional walk with first base open and pitch to Jack Billingham.
Asking for trouble.
Well, I got to tell you now, Billingham told me earlier today that after that nifty 17-hitter that he threw in Atlanta Monday night, that he's going to concentrate on pitching tonight. He was not really all that concerned about swinging the bat.
He's concerned about both. Now, you can't tell me the man walks up out of the bases loaded and is not going to worry about getting a base hit. That's just not true.
Well, I think what he was doing was using a little reverse psychology on me and trying to lull me into a false sense of security. You know what I'm talking about?
Why should it be false?
You said that, I didn't. This is Billingham at the plate with the bases loaded. Jack swings, bounces one to the right side. Trillo has it on 2 hops and throws him out at first base. So the Reds bat around in the first inning, and a big first it was. 3 runs on a couple of base hits, 1 Chicago error, and 3 men left on. After 1 complete, Reds 3, Cubs nothing. Well, we go to the top of the second inning, leading the Cubs 3-0, and Jack Billingham, well, had 23 runs scored for him on Monday night, and already the Reds have put 3 on the board against the Cubs. Some pitchers that you get runs for, and some you don't, Joe.
Well, let's wait a little while now. 3 runs is 3 runs, but we can tack up about 4 more, then all right. But 3 runs is normal. Any pitcher likes to have a lead, but hopefully we'll get a few more than the 3. The Dazzler will dazzle him with a shutout here.
You will take the 3, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right on. Here's Bobby Murcer now. Billingham retiring the Cubs in order in the first inning. Murcer, left-handed batting right fielder, as a pitch comes in there for strike 1 call. Bobby hitting .321. 4 home runs, 12 RBIs, and 4 for 11 with a homer against Cincinnati. That pitch is low for a ball. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 games in the National League this afternoon. Pittsburgh over Houston 10-0, a 6-hit shutout for Jim Rooker. Swing and a foul ball at the plate. Willie Stargell, his first homer of the year in that game, and Philadelphia, who came from behind to defeat San Francisco 6-5 last night at Candlestick, bumped him 6-4 today. Randy Lersch, Philadelphia rookie pitcher, winning his 3rd game. Harmon a homer for the Phils. Elliott a long ball for San Francisco. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Billingham against Murcer with Morales on deck and then Manny Trillo. And now Bobby steps out of the box as Billingham starts into his windup. Reds 3, Cubs nothing here in the top of the 2nd. Fastball is head high. Tonight in the National League, Atlanta at St. Louis. Frank LaCourte against Pete Falcone. Montreal at L.A. Gerald Hannes versus Rick Rhoden. 2-2 pitch, swung on and hit hard into right center field. That's the first Chicago hit. Murcer opening up the 2nd with a base hit, and that'll bring on Jerry Morales. And New York will be at San Diego, where Tom Seaver tries to win his 4th game of the year. He is unbeaten against lefty Randy Jones, off to a slow beginning, a win and 3 losses. Morales, .291 his average, 1 his home run figure, 10 his RBI total. Murcer will lead against a holding Driessen at first base. The pitch, swung on and popped in the air, left side of the infield. Concepcion calling, and he'll make the catch. We'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
WMNI-FM, Columbus, Ohio, the 50,000-watt voice of the world champion Cincinnati Reds. Stay tuned immediately following the game for the very best in quadraphonic stereo music.
1 away in the Cubs' 2nd inning. Bobby Murcer at first, and second baseman Manny Trillo stands in against Billingham. Trillo bounces one slowly to 3rd. Rose will go to Morgan to get the force. Whoops, almost upended by Bobby Murcer, as Joe hangs on wisely to the baseball, and they force Murcer at second base 5-4. 2 men out. And in for the first time is the switch-hitting 3rd baseman Steve Ontiveros. Hitting at .234. He's homered once. He's knocked in the 1 run against right-handed pitching, a much better hitter, .286 than the other way at .192. He hits one to deep right field. Back goes Griffey on the warning track, reaches up and makes the catch. Ontiveros giving it a ride, but not deep enough. In the inning, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. After an inning and a half, the Reds over the Cubs, 3-0. Well, tomorrow is a big day here at Riverfront. The Reds meet the Cubs in a 2:15 game, and just about every girl and boy throughout Reds country knows tomorrow is bat day. Don't miss out on all the fun and excitement, plus the chance for youngsters to get their baseball bat in time to use all summer long. Every boy and girl 14 and under, accompanied by a separate paying adult, gets a free Louisville bat branded with the autograph of one of the world champion Reds players. Plenty of seats are still available for tomorrow's game, so plan to be on hand. That's the Reds and the Cubs tomorrow afternoon on Bat Day. Pete Rose right where he was in the bottom of the first inning, and that's leading it off as Burris gets a strike in on him, and this one misses down and in, 1-1. Pete drew the base on balls, but then was forced at second on Concepcion's ground ball to the mound. Then the onslaught started for Cincinnati. 3 runs cross the plate. Change bounces inside, 2 balls and a strike. Bases were loaded when Danny Driessen lined a single to center, making it 2-0, and 1 out later, bench double to left field, knocking in another run. Ball 3, so Burris having problems again. After walking 4 batters in the first, one of them intentionally, is behind 3 balls and 1 strike. The right-hander brings it onto the plate, and Rose gets his second walk of the night. So charge the fifth walk of the game to Ray Burris, and here's Dave Concepcion as once again the Cub bullpen gets active with Willie Hernandez, a left-hander. And let's see if he's going to be joined again by Paul Rushell. Apparently not. Going to be down there throwing alone. David scored the first Cincinnati run. Takes a strike. Herman Franks went out to the mound one time during that first inning just before they decided to issue an intentional walk to Geronimo, and then Billingham bounced out to end the inning. Here's a ground ball left side. De Jesus off to his right field. It throws on and dropped at second base by Trillo. Well, things not going well at all for the Cubs. That was definitely a force play. The trio dropping the ball has been charged with an error, and that's the second of the game against the Cubs.
Marty, of course, Manny Trillo turns the double play as good as anyone in the league, and it looked like there he just tried to get rid of the ball too soon and forgot the number one rule. That's catch it first.
So instead of there being one man out with a runner at first base, there are two on with nobody out. Ken Griffey a walk, and he scored a run in the first. Ontiveros will play him shallow at third. Burris working. Griffey swings. Ground ball hit down the line. It's skidded on the first baseman Buckner and goes all the way to the right field corner. Rose scores. Concepcion will be held at third. Griffey gets a double. And Bill Buckner has to be the most surprised person in the ballpark. That ball apparently hit the seam.
Marty, the ball hit in the dirt and just scooted on Buck. Looked like a tough play because it was off to his left, but his glove hand side, or I shouldn't say his glove hand side, but it looked like it was going to be an easy play, and the ball hit in the dirt and just scooted on him, stayed right down on the carpet, and Bill didn't have a chance at all at it.
So that'll be a two-base hit for Ken Griffey, and another run is home, making it 4-0, and Herman Franks is back to the mound for the second time in as many innings as he decides to make a pitching change. Ray Burris is gone after only an inning plus. And coming on to pitch will be rookie left-hander Willie Hernandez. So we've got a break in the action here in the second. With the score Reds 4, Cubs nothing. We'll be back in just a moment. This will be our first look at a rookie left-hander by the name of Willie Hernandez, a native of Aguada, Puerto Rico. He was drafted from the Philadelphia Phillies Oklahoma City club in the Major League Draft back on December 2nd of last year. Hernandez with Oklahoma City last year was 8-9 with a .452 earned run average. And insofar as this season is concerned, he's making appearance number 6 on the year, has no record, but a fine 180 earned run average. Has given up only 2 runs on 6 hits and 9 2/3 innings with 6 strikeouts and 2 walks. So he comes on in relief of Ray Burris with the Cubs trailing 4-0, nobody out. With a run home in the second, Concepcion is at third and Griffey is at second. Joe Morgan walked, he scored a run, his first time up. That base on balls was Joe's 18th. And let's see what he can do now against the left-hander Hernandez with 2 runners in scoring position. Hernandez delivers and Joe swings and fouls. Strike 1. So a totally different story for Ray Burris when you compare this outing with the way things went for him in Chicago last Sunday afternoon, giving up 13 hits, but still in there at the end in the 7-1 Cubs victory. Pitch is inside to Joe, 1 ball and 1 strike. Morgan batting .268. 3 homers and 14 RBIs. He swings, chops one third base side of the mound. Coming to the plate, Concepcion. They got him in a rundown. Mitterwald tags him out. As Hernandez pounced on that ball, Davey put on the brakes about 10 feet from home plate, but Mitterwald, already with the ball in his possession, just ran up the line to tag him. Griffey goes to third, and Morgan is now at first with 1 out. Here's a man who delivered the big base hit in that 3-run first inning, Danny Driessen, with a 2-run single. Feel a double play depth as Driessen got around on it, tried to hold up on the swing, strike. 0-1. Check of Morgan at first. The pitch. Low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Reds taking advantage of Burris' wildness in the first inning to score 3 times on 2 hits. Have gotten another run home here in the second. That driven in on Griffey's double to right field. Driessen holding up on the swing. 2 balls and 1 strike. Young man has really been in a hitting groove this particular week of the young 77 season. Already with a big base hit in this game and hoping to make it another one. Hernandez drives Morgan back to the bag with a throw to first. 2 balls, 1 strike. Driessen the batter with Griffey at third, Morgan at first. Hernandez sights a sign from George Mitterwald. Now the stretch. And the 2-1 pitch as Morgan breaks. It is swung on, chopped along the first base line. Up Hernandez, throwing to Buckner. Driessen out. Runners at second and third for George Foster. We'd like to send along our best to Reds fans listening tonight on WMNI-FM in Columbus, Ohio, WDOC in Prestonsburg, Kentucky, and WCOR in Lebanon, Tennessee. Willie Hernandez out of the Cubs bullpen to get Morgan to ground to the mound. They got Concepcion out at the plate, and now Driessen bouncing out pitcher to first with Morgan going on to second. 2 away. Foster fouls it out of play. Strike 1. George 0 for 1. He popped out to second baseman Manny Trillo in the first. Hernandez taking his time as the runners lead at second and third with 2 out. Foster in the strike 1 pitch. Swing at a miss, strike 2. We got one good right-hander in that Chicago bullpen, that's for sure, and Bruce Sutter. His statistics have been absolutely glowing this season, and Willie Hernandez trying to become a most important person from the left side in that Chicago bullpen. Down and in, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Reds 4, Cubs nothing as we hit in the bottom half of inning number 2. Foster behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hernandez goes to the rosin bag. Griffey and Morgan take their leads at third and second. Here's a wind and here's a pitch. That one gets by Mitterwald. Here comes Griffey to the plate, and he'll be in standing. 5-0. Will it be a pass ball or a wild pitch? Be a wild pitch charged against Hernandez. Score Griffey his second run scored of the night. Move Morgan to third and make it a 2-2 count on George Foster. Tell you, boy, when you're going good, everything seems to go your way, and when you're going badly, nothing breaks right for you. Already seen evidence of that in this game as far as the Reds are concerned. Foster takes it low and outside, full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Should George reach, Johnny Bench would step in. Now the payoff pitch. Swung on, foul, straight back and out of play. Count holding, 3 balls, 2 strikes as plate umpire John McSherry gets a new supply of baseballs. Got Billy Williams, Bob Engel, and Jerry Dale at first, second, and third. McSherry calling balls and strikes. Morgan bluffs hard down the line. Foster swings, chops it off the pitcher's glove, rolling out toward right. He's going to be on at first, and Morgan scores. See what I mean?
Hardy, if he doesn't touch it, an easy play for Manny Trillo, and as you point out, things are going your way, they go your way. They're not going, they're not. Well, you have to admit they've had several breaks here in the first 2 innings.
Foster gets an infield hit off the pitcher's glove and an RBI, his 19th, and it's now 6-0 as the Reds have enjoyed 2 3-run innings back-to-back. Johnny Bench, a run-scoring double in the first inning to left field. Call strike. John takes a hard look at the other John, McSherry. He couldn't believe that call. Bench, the 7th man to hit in the inning. Foster, the lone base runner. John checks his swing on a breaking pitch. 1-1. Hernandez throws. Bench takes. Strike 2 call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's a throw to first, but Foster had not yet left the bag. Bench waits on the pitch. Here it comes. Pulled foul. Cubs dugout. People running for cover as it hit the railing out in front of it and kicked down into left field. Count holding at ball 1, strike 2. Hernandez taken an exceedingly long time as he checks in with Mitterwald. Pitching. Whoops, inside. Ball glances off Mitterwald's glove. Foster moves to second and will hold right there. That's the second wild pitch charged against Willie Hernandez. He wild pitched a run in. Griffey scoring. With Driessen at the plate, and now following Foster's infield hit that got the 6th Cincinnati run across, George goes to second on another Hernandez wild pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hernandez to Bench. Pull foul, and that one got into the Cubs dugout. John has hit 2 wicked shots, one that didn't make it and one that did. Cesar Geronimo on deck with 2 out. 2-2 pitch again on the way to Bench. Ball 3 is down and in. Full count. Tomorrow afternoon in the series windup, it's going to be Pat Zachary against Rick Rushell. Then we'll have the Cardinals coming in Monday night. Off day Tuesday, Cardinals Wednesday, and then the Reds go back on the road again. 3-2 pitch. Bounce foul. Getting a look at a Cardinal club next week that has a man bearing down on a major league record, Lou Brock, in hot pursuit of the all-time base-stealing career mark held by the legendary Ty Cobb, and that club, of course, resting atop the Eastern Division with an 11-7 record, 1 game up on Pittsburgh. Bench grounds 1 to short. De Jesus plays him in the hole and comes up firing. High throw, but Buckner hangs in to make the play and end the inning. The Reds get 3 more runs on 2 more hits, 1 more Cub error, and 1 man left on. Thus, at the end of 2 complete, Cincinnati 6, Chicago nothing. Well, a big 6-0 lead for Cincinnati as we move to 3rd inning action, and for Chicago, it's going to be catcher George Mitterwald to start it off. Here to call the action for you, Joe Nuxall.
All right, Marty. Mitterwald, a .243 batting average, a home run, 3 RBIs. The Cubs have had 1 hit off Jack Billingham, that a Bobby Murcer single to center in the 2nd inning leading off. Billingham has struck out 1. He got Jose Cardenal swinging in the 1st inning after Cardenal just missed his 2nd home run of the year down the left field line. Billingham looking for his third win of the year. This is fifth start. Mitterwald, a right-handed batter. On deck is Hernandez, and then it'll be De Jesus. Billingham's first pitch is in for a called strike, a fastball. The Reds well on their way to making it 5 straight now. 6-0 lead. Billingham back to the plate, missing outside with a fastball. 1-1. The 1-1. Curve outside. 2 balls to strike to George Mitterwald. Billingham behind the mound, now back up and winds and delivers the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and bounced to Rose. Bad hop, knocks Pete's hat off and on into left field where Foster has it. I don't know if it knocked Pete's hat off, but in his reflexes, jerking his head back as the ball came up off the lip of the sliding area down there, almost got Pete. Oh, base hit for George Mitterwald. That's the second of the game for the Cubs, and pitcher Hernandez steps in. Willie Hernandez will go to the plate hitting left-handed. Billingham the stretch and the pitch. Hernandez bluffs a bunt, and it's low and inside a ball. Dan Driessen playing behind Mitterwald at first base. Outfield pulled in a bit and shaded around toward left as Jack sets and delivers. Hernandez takes a strike on the inside corner. 1-1. Cubs in their 16th game of the year. They've won 7 and lost 8. 1-1 on the way. That's low, and it goes 2 balls to strike to Willie Hernandez. Ivan De Jesus on deck, and then it'll be Jose Cardenal. Reds leading 6-0, scoring 3 in the first and picking up 3 more, 3 unearned runs in the second. Had a little help from the Cubs. Billingham sets and delivers. Hernandez swings on a pitch, and if he didn't hit that one, it might have hit him in the left knee. Count evens at 2-2. Billingham checking in with bench. The belt he delivers. Swung on, chopped foul over near the Cincinnati dugout. Count holding at 2 balls, 2 strikes to Willie Hernandez. Now Alvin Dark, the first base coach for the Cubbies, and over at third, Harry Peanuts Lowry. Peanuts one time a member of the Reds. A few years back, pitch on the way, swung on, that's fouled off the end of the bat to Lowry in the third base coaching box. Peanuts picks it off, gives it to Rose. Rose over to Billingham. Count holding 2-2. Mitterwald leads at first. And the 2-2. Swung on, ground ball, Concepcion. He'll go to second, the force of Mitterwald, and that's it. Slow ground ball, David charging and throwing back to Morgan, getting the force of Mitterwald. Play going 6-4. 1 away, Hernandez now at first base, and Ivan De Jesus will be the batter. De Jesus line to Joe Morgan. Joe going to the turf to field it off to his right. De Jesus doing a whale of a job for the Cubs, hitting .309, a home run, and 5 RBIs. Coming over to Chicago in the Rick Mundy deal from the Dodgers. Billingham delivers, and De Jesus takes a curve low and outside. We had 34,452 last night. Around 30 tonight. De Jesus swings and pops it to right. Ken Griffey backing off a few steps, now in a few, and he has it for out number 2. That brings Jose Cardenal to the plate, and little man having a rough time of it at the moment, hitting 191 with a home run and 2 RBIs in the first inning. Just missed his second home run of the year and then struck out. Billingham ready and delivers to Cardenal a strike. The Cubs have had 2 hits. The single by Murcer and the single by Mitterwald. The Reds have had 4. Pitch on the way. Curve low and outside. 1-1 to Cardenal. Willie Hernandez at first base with 2 away. Driessen not holding him close. Then he back on the turf behind the sliding area. Here's the 1-1. Swung on. That ball's hit well to center field. Going back, Geronimo looking up. He might, and he caught the ball. Holy smoke, he got up on the wall, left his feet, and just as he caught the ball, one-handed, bangs into the fence. So a great catch by the Chief in deep left center field off the bat of Jose Cardenal to retire the side, and Jose can't believe it. Well, in the inning for Chicago, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, a runner left on base, and 1 great play by Cesar Geronimo. Here in the middle of the 3rd, the Reds 6, the Cubs nothing. Well, as you might have guessed, who was leading off the inning? Cesar Geronimo, after that outstanding defensive play in deep left center field off the bat of Jose Cardenal. The Chief will lead it off. He'll be followed by Jack Billingham and Pete Rose. And really, how many times have you noticed that after a great play, I guess 50% of the time, that particular individual will either lead off the inning or will be up in that particular inning? And the Chief getting a fine hand for that fine defensive play as he steps in. Geronimo was intentionally passed in the first inning, sitting .200 with 2 home runs and 7 RBI. Brenneman just walked in and said that was a major league play. All right, Geronimo swings on the first pitch, grounds to Buckner, the throw, and just in time, Hernandez almost not getting there, covering the bag at first. Buckner going off to his right to pick off the ground ball and throwing to Hernandez. So 1 pitch, 1 out, and Jack Billingham to the plate. Jack ended the first inning by grounding to Trillo at second base. Billingham, a .273 batting average.
Isn't that what you said? That's what the glove is for? To make catches like that?
That's why they manufacture.
Thank you.
Billingham looks at a strike. Jack hasn't seen Hernandez, so he's kind of checking him out. Willie Hernandez in relief of Ray Burris has his sign. He delivers. Billingham looks at strike 2, and well, he's 1 look away from a K. The 0-2 delivery. Swung on and lined to right center field, a base hit. Well, as I said, Mr. Billingham just bides his time. He don't want to get carried away and swing at bad pitches. He wants to make sure what the man has. And it took him 2 pitches to find out what he had.
That's an awful shame right there. Now, that is a shame.
It's not embarrassing me. Maybe it is you.
It is becoming increasingly more embarrassing to me.
Oh, well, it just shows you what a little dedication will do.
Right on.
The kid has listened to me over the past 3 years, and it's paid off. All right, the pitch to Rose. Pete looks at a strike. Rose has walked both times to the plate tonight. He has a 15-game hitting streak going. First time he's at the plate batting right-handed. Billingham at first with 1 away. Buckner playing behind him. Hernandez delivers, Rose swings, and fouls it down to the Cincinnati bullpen and into the first row of box seats. So Willie Hernandez out in front of Pete Rose, 0-2. Ray Burris started, and boy, how do you explain those things? Ray walked 5, one intentionally, and something that, well, probably no one can explain. He'd walked just 3 batters coming into tonight's game, and Hernandez now, the slider hits Pete on the left leg, and we'll pause for station identification. This is the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
The best in baseball from WMNI-FM, Columbus, Ohio. And always the very best in music on 50,000-watt Quad 100, the music leader in Central Ohio.
All right, it'll be Dave Concepcion with Billingham at second and Rose at first and 1 out. The Reds with a 6-0 lead. Hernandez sets and delivers, and Concepcion lines one on a bounce to DeJesus. Bobbles, throws to Trillo on to Buckner, double play. A quick double play, the 14th the Reds have hit into this year, and that ends the inning. For the Reds, no runs, a hit, no errors, a runner left on base, and at the end of 3, the Reds 6, the Cubs nothing.
Back to the fields with my Red Fox Chew, because Mister, taking it easy, never tasted so good. Red Fox.
Now the totals for 3 innings show the Cubs no runs, 2 hits, 2 errors. The Reds 6 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. And Pete Rose leaving the ball game, and quite possibly that pitch he was struck by Willie Hernandez might have hit him on the left knee. And we'll just wait for a report from the Reds clubhouse. But Pete was limping as he went down the steps into the Cincinnati clubhouse. We're ready for inning number 4, and here's Marty.
Okay, Joe, Doug Flynn comes in to play third base as Rose goes to the clubhouse to be administered to by trainer Larry Starr. We hope to have a report on Pete Rose before our broadcast is over tonight. Billingham in 3 innings has given the Cubs only 2 hits, a single in the second by Bobby Murcer, a leadoff base hit in the third by George Mitterwald. Bill Buckner lining out to Geronimo in left center in the first inning will start it off. Billingham delivers, and Buckner takes the first pitch in for strike 1. Bill slowly rounding into shape after undergoing ankle surgery following the completion of last season. 1 ball, 1 strike, and I guess as far as he is concerned, it has not mended as quickly as he had hoped. He still at times shows a very noticeable limp. But we were talking to him last night after the game, and he said it'll come in time. That's all he can hope for. Ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. One of the real tough competitors in baseball, this man. Last few years, of course, a regular left fielder for the Dodgers, but a change of uniforms and a change of positions. Now a first baseman here with the Cubs. He bounces to Morgan. Joe throws him out. Bobby Murcer, 1 for 1, a single to right center in the second. Don't forget the Reds and the Cubs tomorrow. We'll wrap up the series. It'll be Bat Day at the stadium. Good supply of seats are available. The stadium ticket office will open at 9 o'clock. Gates open at 12:15, and the first pitch will be coming plateward at 2:15. Pat Zachary against Rick Rushell, 2 right-handers. Mercer takes a strike. One ball, 1 strike to Bobby Murcer. The Reds 6, the Cubs nothing. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Swing and a hard smash foul between the bag and the coaching box at first. Murcer, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bobby, for many years, a standout right fielder for the New York Yankees. That came up with that team in 1966 to stay, and Here's a curve change that stays high and away. 2-2. Was in the military in 67 and 68, returned in 69, and was with the Yankees from then through the 74 seasons before going to San Francisco and that celebrated trail involving Bobby Bonds. Full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 281 lifetime batter, Mercer. The payoff pitch to him, swung on, hit to left center, ball tailing in toward Foster, who's there to make the catch. 2 out. It'll bring to the plate Jerry Morales, who in the second popped out to Concepcion. Well, Billingham rolling along very, very nicely, thank you, with 2 out in the 4th inning. Nothing going on for the Cubs. Delivers a fastball for a strike. Strike 2 call. Billingham going with 2 fastballs back to back to jump out in front 0-2 on Jerry Morales. Checking in with bench. Billingham still looking, now with a wind and stepping off the pitching rubber. He'll start all over again. Here it comes. Fly ball off the right field line. It'll be out of play. Cubs over in the Eastern Division last night, losing their 8th game to drop 1 under the 500 mark. They're 2.5 games behind the Cardinals. Grounder foul at third. St. Louis 11-7, 1 up on Pittsburgh. Actually a half game up on the Pirates after their shutout victory over Houston earlier today. Pittsburgh 10-7. Montreal 8-7. Then the Cubs at 7-8, the Mets at 7-9, and Philadelphia at 6-9. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The curve misses the outside corner. Only 3.5 games separating the 6 clubs in the East. 9.5 from top to bottom in our Western Division. 2 balls and 2 strikes. In the American League, Kansas City and Oakland in a virtual tie for first place in the West. And Milwaukee continues to surprise. They are 11-6 after losing 1-0 today to Cleveland. Another foul ball off third base. They are a game and a half ahead of the New York Yankees, who played and won today against the Seattle Mariners. Line drive hit, left center field off a 2-2 pitch. Morales a 2-out 4th inning single that'll keep things going for Manny Trillo. Trillo in the second reached on a fielder's choice. Somebody's going to get up and start working once again in the Cub bullpen. It's going to be right-hander Mike Krukow. Ball 1 to Trillo. Ray Burris started for the Cubs, won an inning plus before giving way to Willie Hernandez in the second. And now it's Mike Krukow getting ready to possibly see game action tonight. This one fouled, and that one got Trillo before it bounces all the way out to shortstop and picked up there by Dave Concepcion. A flash on the message board out in center field. Pete Rose's 15-game hitting streak remains intact, even though he batted 3 times without a hit in this game. The rule states the streak continues if the batter walks or is hit by a pitch without an official at-bat. So Rose's hitting streak does not stop. It remains at 15. Went to the plate 3 times, twice walked, and once was hit by a pitch. Chicago trainer out to check out Manny Trillo after he took a hard cut at the ball, fouled it off of apparently his left instep. Tony Garofalo, the Cub trainer, making sure Manny Trillo is well enough to remain in, and Herman Franks is now joining in on it. Jack Billingham waiting out on the mound with a count of a ball and 1 strike to the Cubs second baseman as they continue to take a look at Well, it's either his instep or the top of his left foot or around the ankle area. Manny does not appear to be in any undue amount of pain, and he's going to stay in. 2 men out, 1 man on. Morales a base runner at first. As the Cubs trail the Reds 6-0 in the 4th inning. The pitch. That looked like a good one, but McSherry says ball 2, 2-1. That one foul to the screen. Count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Next weekend we'll be in Pittsburgh, then we'll go to St. Louis for 4. And stay in the Eastern Division for a while. Swing and miss, ball getting away from bench. John pounces on it, throws out. Manny Trillo at first base to complete the strikeout, and the side retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on. Through 3 1/2 innings of play, the Reds over the Cubs, 6-0. Of the 4th about to unfold. Griffey will start it off for the Reds. He is 1 for 1 with a walk. He has doubled a run across, and he has scored 2. Willie Hernandez, who came out of the Cub bullpen in the 2nd inning, still out there here in the 4th, but you would expect that he'll be lifted for a pinch hitter when the Cubs bat in the 5th. Pitch is on the inside, a call strike. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That's low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Got a new second baseman for the Cubs, Mick Kelleher, so we've had 2 players forced out, 1 hit by a pitch Rose, 1 fouling a pitch off of himself. Trio. There's strike 2 call. Mick Kelleher now at second base, replacing Manny Trillo. Griffey behind, a ball, 2 strikes. Krukow continuing to throw in the Cub bullpen. The wind by the left-hander, the pitch. Griffey bat handle foul ball. It'll be back into the seats along the left side. Kenny now batting .351. That RBI he picked up in the 2nd, his 9th of the season. And the 2-base hit for him was 2-bagger number 6. Rose leads the club with 7. Pitch. Here's a drive. Deep right center field. Morales back to the warning track. To the wall. Off the fence. Kicking back toward the infield. Griffey comes round second toward third. Standing triple. Boy, did he hit it a bunch. Just missing by maybe 1.5 to 2 feet of his 3rd home run. Still, he pulls up at third base with his first triple of the season. So there's potential run number 7 for the Reds as Morgan steps in. Joe walked and scored in the 1st, reached on a fielder's choice and scored again in the 2nd. Looks like we might have an appeal play at second base. Let's see. Yep, the Cubs think Griffey missed second, and the throw goes on to DeJesus, and the ruling is safe. First base umpire Billy Williams making the call. So that having been dispensed with, Hernandez will work to Morgan. He pitches. Joe takes. Ball 1 low. The triple by Griffey hit number 6 in the game for the Reds. Joe swings and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. All 6 of the Cincinnati runs charged to starter Ray Burris, of which 3 were earned. The 1-1 to Morgan. That's grounded to first. Buckner looks Kenny back to third and goes to the bag to retire Morgan. 1 out. Danny Driessen 1 for 2. A single to knock in 2 in the 1st, and he bounced to the box in the 2nd. Only a couple of games to be played in the American League tonight after 5 played this afternoon. California, Baltimore underway. Orioles 3, Angels nothing in the second. Driessen looking at a strike, and later on Toronto at Kansas City. We'll check out those American League Finals for you prior to the Cubs batting in the 5th inning. High fly ball hit to left field. That's going to be deep enough to get Griffey in. Back toward the corner is Cardenal. He makes the catch in foul ground, or did he? No, he dropped the ball. Cardenal running out of our line of vision and rapidly running out of room. I might have concerned about that fact and was not able to hang on to Driessen's long foul ball to left. No balls and 2 strikes. Ken Griffey opened the inning with a triple high off the fence in deep right center. Morgan bounced out to first base with Griffey holding, and the 0-2 pitch to Driessen. He struck him out. John McSherry ruling that Danny got around on the pitch, although he tried to hold up, so 2 down for George Foster. First strikeout for Willie Hernandez. Foster in the first, popped to second. In the second, hit a ground ball that Hernandez deflected, allowing Morgan to score the 6th Reds run. It was Foster's 19th run batted in. Way outside and high. Upstairs, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Foster climbing back in the batter's box as Hernandez gets set to pitch again with a count of 2-0. Griffey off the bag at third. Foster takes it high, ball 3. 3-0. Here's a 3-0 pitch. Foster green light and fouls it out of play. You can pretty much bank on that in most situations, unless the Reds are playing from behind. Got runners in scoring position. Morgan, Driessen, Foster, bench up there. Ground ball by the mound. No, he's speared by Hernandez. Nice play, and he throws George out. In the inning, no runs on a hit. Griffey's leadoff triple, and Kenny stays right there as Hernandez retires. Morgan ground out, Driessen strikeout, Foster comebacker to the mound. So at the end of 4 full innings of play, it's the Reds 6 and the Cubs nothing. Go to the top of the 5th inning, and for the Chicago Cubs, it'll be the bottom third of their order. Steve Ontiveros will begin it, then George Mitterwald, and I would expect the pinch hitter for pitcher Willie Hernandez. In American League play this afternoon, the Twins conquered the Tigers 7-3 as Jeff's on. Traded away by the Dodgers a few years back, sent down by the Chicago Cubs, battling arm problems and obviously overcoming them. Won his 4th game in as many decisions in that Twins victory over Detroit. Texas, 14 runs over the Cubs, 14-4 that final. Cleveland in 12. Shut out Milwaukee 1-0. Pitchers duel involving Dennis Eckersley and Jim Slayton. New York over Seattle 7-2, and Boston beat Oakland 8-4. First pitch is low, a ball to Ontiveros. California at Baltimore, we mentioned the early score in that game, Nolan Ryan against Mike Flanagan. And Toronto plays at Kansas City, where Jerry Garvin, 3-0, will go against Paul Splittorff, 1-1. 2 balls and no strikes. Ontiveros in the second had Griffey flagging down his fly ball on the warning track in right field. Krukow has completed his throwing in the Cub bullpen, and there's strike 1 call, 2-1. Billingham has struck out 2, has not walked a batter, has given the Cubs 3 hits. Ground ball will be played by Driessen. He will throw to Billingham, and Jack goes to the bag. 1 out. Now Mitterwald, who owns one of the Cub hits, out a single to left in the third inning, will step in. Former Houston Astro outfielder Greg Gross, a left-handed batter, will be the hitter for Willie Hernandez after Mitterwald. Mitterwald, a check swing grounder, one hopper. Billingham has it. On to first, 2 out. So Jack and Danny involved in both outs here in the Cub fifth inning, and now we'll get a look at Gross. Tonight's scoreboard stumper, Joe Morgan, became the second National Leaguer to win the Most Valuable Player award 2 years in a row. Name the other player. Called him Mr. Cub. Still do, as a matter of fact. Gross, a starter for Houston, but a non-starter for Chicago. Has been to the plate but 10 times, has had 2 hits and RBI. Ball 1. The Reds scoring 3 times in each of the first 2 innings on a 6-0 lead here in the 5th inning. Call strike, 1-1. Two balls and 1 strike. Swing, fly ball, shallow left. Foster had trouble picking it out of the lights, and the ball falls in. You could see George was having trouble locating the baseball as it got up into the lights back behind first base or off the first base foul line. So Gross with a pinch hit single in the shallow left field. And we'll go back on top for shortstop De Jesus. He has lined to second and hit a fly ball to right. De Jesus batting .298. Ball 1. Against the Reds, 4 hits and 15 times up. Missing the outside corner. Ball 2, 2-0. The Cubs beat the Reds back-to-back games last Saturday and Sunday in the Windy City after a rain-out Friday, but the Reds got them by a run last night and trying to make it 2 straight here at Riverfront tonight. At the knees, a call, strike 1, 2-1. One more trip scheduled into Chicago. That'll be coming up in July, and the Cubs will be coming back to Cincinnati for one more visit. Slow grounder toward third. Flynn will play it. Has plenty on the throw and got the out with the help of a big stretch from Manny Trillo. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We're halfway through the Saturday night game in Cincinnati. It's the Reds 6 and the Cubs nothing. Before the Reds come to bat in the 5th inning, we'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
WMNI-FM, Columbus, Ohio. If you'd like a complete 1977 Cincinnati Reds schedule, both home and away, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to WMNI-FM, Columbus, Ohio, 43215.
Johnny Bench to lead the 5th inning off against Mike Krukow and jumps on his first pitch and lines a single to left field. Bench has his second hit of the night and 3 times up as he greets the newcomer Krukow with a base hit to left. Pitching line on Willie Hernandez, 3 innings, 3 hits, no runs. He struck out a batter, delivered 2 wild pitches, and hit Pete Rose. Krukow, he's 6'4", weighs 195 pounds, 25 years old, from Long Beach, California. Been a starter early this season for the Cubs. In fact, this is his first relief appearance after 4 starts. He has a record of 0-2 and a 15.30 ERA. Geronimo, the batter, has had an intentional walk and is grounded out. Bench leading at first. Geronimo, a foul out of play. Krukow was the starting pitcher last Wednesday when the Cardinals beat him 21-3 at Wrigley Field. But a youngster who had a very, very impressive spring for this team and Well, the feeling seems to be if he can just get over the hump and have one good outing that things will turn around for him. Geronimo fouling this one out of play, strike 2. Last year was with the Wichita Club in the American Association, posting a 7-9 record, appeared in 2 games with a big team at the end of the year with no record. High fastball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Broke in 1973 at Bradenton. His best year was in 75 with Midland, Texas, when he won 13 and lost 6. He's even at 2-2. College student Krukow is majoring in physical education at Cal Poly State University. Ball 3. Bill Buckner calling time, coming in from first base to talk with Krukow, who was ahead of Geronimo 2 strikes, but now has gone full. Bench at first. Billingham is on deck. It's 6-0 Reds in the 5th. Now the 3-2 pitch. That is hit hard and by the shortstop, De Jesus. Morales up with the ball in left center. As the Reds have put back-to-back hits here in the 5th inning against Krukow, singles by Bench and Geronimo, and Billingham, who owns one of the 8 Reds base hits. That a 3rd inning single will probably be up there to try and move both runners along. So the Reds are trying to stir something up again. And another left-hander will begin loosening up in the Cub bullpen. This will be veteran Ramon Hernandez. Ontiveros, Buckner playing shallow at the corners. Billingham squares, bunts foul at the plate. Nothing in 1 on the Reds pitcher. Krukow with a stretch. The pitches. Billingham bunts toward the mound. Backhanded, knocked down, picked up, out at 3rd. Krukow had it, lost it. Picked it up, and from a kneeling position threw out Bench at 3rd base. Boy, that ball gets by. It's a base hit.
I don't know if Jack played it that way or not. I would have to think that he did not.
I would concur with that opinion. Good try, though.
I think he's been talking to Bourbon if he says he did.
If he said he meant to do that, he's definitely a graduate of the Bourbon School of Bunting. Here's Doug Flynn now with 1 out and 2 men on. Doug up for the first time since coming in to play 3rd for Pete Rose. Breaking ball outside corner, strike. Doug has been up this season but 3 times, as he appears in his 11th game, has been used primarily for defensive purposes in the late innings, has a hit. He grounds one right side, fielded by Kelleher, turns, throws Billingham out, and that's all they're going to get. Mick Kelleher, Ivan De Jesus. As Geronimo moves to 3rd base, Flynn, the new runner at first, 2 out. And we'll look at Dave Concepcion.
You see that graceful slide?
I was waiting for you to make comment. I think the earth shook around 2nd base.
You ever see a buffalo stumble?
Not lately, but I think that's a good analogy. Concepcion a ball, a buffalo stumble. That's pretty good. I like that. Davey 0 for 3 in the game. Swings and he misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. Geronimo 3rd, Flynn 1st, 2 out. Krukow 2/3 of the way home toward getting out of the inning unscathed after the first 2 Reds batters base hit him. Strike call, fastball, 1-2. Davies' bat has been quieted by Cubs pitching after coming in 8 for 12 against him. He grounds to the right side of the infield. Kelleher spears, throws to Buckner, side retired. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left on. We'll move to the 6th inning with the Reds out in front of the Cubs 6-0. Tournament back at Riverfront Stadium. We're in the top of the 6th inning, and this is the middle game of the 3-game series with Herman Franks' Cubs, and we lead them 6-0. All the scoring coming early, 3 in the first, 3 spot again in the second. Cubs have used 3 pitchers, Burris, Hernandez, and Krukow, while Cincinnati has gone thus far all the way with Jack Billingham, who's turned in 5 impressive innings. It'll be Jose Cardenal, Billy Buckner, and Bobby Murcer to ply their talents against the Reds right-hander in the 6th inning. Don't forget the next Senior Citizens Day at Riverfront is going to be Wednesday, May 18th. The Reds and the Pirates. 12:30 in the Businessmen Special. Person 65 and over may purchase 350 reserved seats for only $1.50. Cardenal 0 for 2, but boy, I'll tell you, that second at-bat was an awfully tough out to take as Geronimo literally climbed the left center field fence to catch his fly ball and take away an extra base hit. Probably the finest defensive play that we have seen so far in this young season. Here's a pitch. Strike 1 call. Missing low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Billingham with excellent control has not walked anybody. Here's a hard smash third. Doug Flynn, good play, and he throws him out. 1 out for Bill Buckner. Indianapolis, our AAA farm club, splitting a doubleheader last night with Denver, and now show a record of 10 wins and 4 losses. Tommy Hume won the opener as he fired a 1-hitter at the Denver club. Indy scoring a 6-0 win. Hume is not allowed a run this season in 21 1/3 innings and has won 3 and lost none. Buckner ball 1. Denver came back to win the second game in 11-4-3. The loss went to Raul Ferreira. So things are going very well in Indianapolis for Roy Matika's ball club. They are getting some out-of-sight pitching. Breaking pitch down and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Buckner is lined to center, is grounded to Morgan. Strike 2 him, 2-1. I don't think anybody is really surprised over the fact that Indianapolis is getting the kind of pitching they are, what with the fine young talent that we saw in Tampa during spring training. Morgan again will field another Buckner ground ball and on to Driessen for the second out. Tommy Hume 3-0. Paul Moskow is also 3 wins and no losses. Getting some very timely base hits and producing so far 10 wins. Bobby Murcer has had 1 of the 4 hits a single and is flying to left field. Hard smash. Driessen got it. Driessen rolling toward the bag. Mercer's out. And Jack Billingham has retired the Cubs in order for the second time tonight. 3 up and 3 down. Through 5.5. Reds 6. Cubs nothing. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Ken Griffey will lead it off against Mike Krukow. If you're wondering how to spell this youngster's last name, K-R-U-K-O-W. Pronounced Krukow. And he'll be facing a man who's been on 3 times with a walk, a double, and a 3-base hit. Griffey triple back in the 4th inning leading off. Krukow delivers, strike 1 call. So Kenny, who came into the game batting at .342, has jumped his average some 18 points. Swing, grounder, right side. Kelleher up, on to Buckner, 1 out. Well, Griffey retired for the first time tonight. It'll be Joe Morgan. Don't forget the current homestand continues here at Riverfront tomorrow as the Reds meet the Cubs at 2:15 on Bat Day. Then it'll be the Cardinals for 2 weeknight games, Monday and Wednesday nights at 8:05. Plan to be on hand for these games as well as other upcoming Reds home dates. Stop by the Reds ticket agency nearest you. In Salina, Ohio at the Style Shop. In Xenia at Famous Sporting Goods. In Bloomington, Indiana at Southern Sporting Goods. In Shelbyville at Farmers National Bank. And in Ashland, Kentucky at Zwick Music. Strike is called to Morgan. Joe 0 for 2 with a walk. He swings. He lofts it in the air to left center. Cardenal playing him that way and squeezes it for the out. 2 down, Danny Driessen. Double D with a 2-run single in the first. He bounced to the mound in the second, and the fourth, a strikeout swinging. Atlanta and St. Louis in the third inning with the Cardinals leading at 1-0. Andy Messersmith returns to the Braves rotation tonight. Strike to him. We had said Frank LaCourte was a probable starter, but Messersmith is back and losing to the Cardinals. Fastball too much inside. 1-1. Driessen fouls this one out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 out and nothing going on in the red 6. Krukow working quickly. Curve is high, 2-2. Up and away, ball 3. Full count on Driessen. Mike did a nice job in the 5th inning after giving up singles to Bench and Geronimo. Got out of the inning without any runs scored against him and has retired Griffey and Morgan. A couple of pretty good hitters. I think you'll agree here in the 6th. Far as he can go with Driessen. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch plateward. Ball 4. Foster will be the hitter. 1 for 3, an infield hit that got a run home in the second. Driessen will lead at first. Foster fouls off to the right and out of here. Strike 1. That one bounced foul off third base. Trickling into the Cubs dugout. Strike 2. Foster behind, 2 strikes with 2 out. And Driessen at first base. The pause at the belt by Krukow. He delivers and Foster takes it up and in, a fastball. Just off the plate. 2-2. Johnny Bench rubbing up the bat handle, standing in the on-deck circle. Krukow 2-2ing to George Foster. And strike 3 is called. Foster, who very rarely argues, says something to John McSherry on a pitch out away from him. Krukow picks up his first strikeout, and the red 6th is history. No runs, no hits, 1 left. We move to the 7th. It's Cincinnati 6 and Chicago 0. We move to 7th inning play at Riverfront Stadium. 6-0 Reds over the Cubs. Joey Morales will be the man in for openers against Jack Billingham. And back to call it for you, here's Joe.
All right, Marty. Morales owns 1 of the 4 hits that Billingham has allowed tonight. He's 1 for 2. First time up in the 2nd inning, a pop to Concepcion at short, then a single to center in the 4th. Billingham has struck out a couple, has not walked a batter through 6 innings. Reds with a 6-0 lead. Right-hander going to the Cubs bullpen, Jim Todd. Billingham ready to go to work to Morales. He delivers the first pitch, and Morales takes it high a ball. Flynn deep at third, the outfield about straightaway. The pitch on the way inside. It's 2 balls, no strikes to Morales. Morales, Kelleher, and Ontiveros here in the 7th for Chicago. A 2-0. A strike called at the knees. Fastball. 2-1. The Reds getting runs 3 in the first and 3 more in the second, leading at 6-0. Billingham delivers inside. 3 balls, 1 strike now to Jerry Morales. Reds with a little help in the first 2 innings. Cubs defense. There's ball 4 inside. First walk issued by Jack Billingham, and that will bring second baseman Mick Kelleher to the plate. Mick is 0 for 6 this year. He's right-handed batter. Driessen plays behind Morales at first base. Couple of steps. Doug Flynn even with the bag at third. Concepcion and Morgan double play depth of pitch. Under the knees a ball. Cardinals leading Atlanta 1-0. The only other game underway at the moment in the National League. That's the 3rd inning. 1-0 delivery. It's ball 2, and John McSherry looked as though he wanted to raise that right hand. So Billingham out of the strike zone on the first 2 pitches to Mick Kelleher. Phillies beat San Francisco 6-4. Pittsburgh shutting out Houston 10-0. Montreal at Los Angeles, New York at San Diego later. Kelleher looks at a strike. Two and one the count. Pitch on the way, low and outside. 3-1 now to Mick Kelleher, and so all of a sudden Jack having control problems. He walked Morales, and he's 3-1 to Mick Kelleher. Steve Ontiveros on deck. Over at Indianapolis tonight, Denver and the Indians. It's Manny Trillo for Indianapolis. Raleigh on the mound for Denver. Here's the 3-1. That's strike 2 call. Full count now to Mick Kelleher. Manny Trillo. Pitch on the way, swung on and missed. And Billingham has his 3rd strikeout. A foul tip in the mid of Johnny Bench. 1 away, and Steve Ontiveros to the plate. 3rd strikeout for Jack. Ontiveros 0 for 2. He sent fly ball to Griffey in the 2nd inning and bounced to Driessen in the 5th. Billingham delivers it, swung on and hit into left field, a base hit by Doug Flynn. Playing it is George Foster, and that is hit number 5 for the Cubs off Jack. Runners at first and second with 1 away, and George Mitterwald to the plate. Mitterwald 1 for 2. Single in the 3rd. And he tapped back to Billingham in the 5th inning. Larry Bittner getting a bat in the Cub dugout. He would go to the plate for Krukow if it goes that far. A bouncer foul by Mitterwald, 3rd base side. Morales leads at second. Ontiveros at first. Billingham to the belt. He delivers. Curve just high. 1-1. Pedro Bourbon throwing in the Cincinnati bullpen. Reds with a 6-0 lead. Jack has the sign. Sets, And the 1-1. Mitterwald swings on the curve, pulls it foul down the left field line. Count goes the ball 2 strikes to George Mitterwald. Reds wind up the 3-game series with the Cubs tomorrow afternoon, and then the Cardinals move in for a 2-game set Monday night and Wednesday night. Tuesday an off day. Billingham ready, and his pitch. Swung on and missed. A curveball down and away, and strikeout number 4 for Jack Billingham. 2 away now, and runners at first and second. That'll bring Larry Bittner to the plate to hit for Krukow. Bittner a .311 batting average, 6 RBIs, 3 doubles, and he had a pinch hit single in last night's ball game off Raleigh Eastwick. Bittner, as we said, a left-handed batter. Second pinch hitter used by the Cubs, Greg Gross, singled in the 5th inning, hitting for Hernandez. Billingham waiting on Bittner to step into the batter's box. Now he checks in with bench and the stretch. Pitch on the way. Bittner takes a low ball. Ivan DeJesus on deck with 2 out. Runners lead. Billingham, the stretch and the pitch. Swung on, ground ball right at Concepcion. He goes to Morgan, the force of Ontiveros, and that takes care of the Cubs. In the inning, no runs. They get 1 hit. No errors. 2 runners left on base, and at the middle of the 7th, the Reds 6, the Cubs nothing.
Did you know there's a new microwave range that cooks 3 ways? From Roper, naturally. The Roper combination microwave range lets you bake or roast your regular electric way. Or use superfast microwave only in the big oven. Or combine regular heat with microwave at the same time to save 75% of the cooking time. With your Roper microwave range, you don't need special recipes, no complicated time and temperature conversions, and no special utensils. A typical 30-minute family meal is meatloaf, bread, scalloped potatoes, and pie, all cooked at one time and in one oven with Roper's combination microwave cooking. If it says Roper, it's quality. See all the Roper ranges in the exciting new Roper combination microwave range at Hoffman Appliance in Nelsonville, Ohio, Tools TV and Appliance in Asheville, Ohio, and Wiseman Appliance in Crooksville, Ohio.
Have a new pitcher on the mound for the Cubs, and it's right-hander Jim Todd. Krukow goes 2 innings, allows 2 hits, struck out 1, walked 1. Reds did not score against him. He'll be facing Johnny Bench, Cesar Geronimo, and Jack Billingham as the Reds bat in the 7th inning. John, 2 for 3. Double, an RBI, and a single. The pitch to him, swung on, pulled down the left field line. That might be extra bases. Playing Cardenal, it bounces by him, and Bench will pull into second base with his 2nd double of the ball game and the 5th of the year. The first pitch delivered by Todd. Bench lines it down the left field line for a double. That'll bring Geronimo to the plate, and the Chief 1 for 2 and an intentional walk. The Reds now with 9 hits in the game. Burris gave up 3, Hernandez 3, Krukow 2, and now Todd, the double to Bench. Todd delivers, low and inside the ball. Todd, a big right-hander. Spent some time with the Oakland A's. Johnny leads at second. The stretch by Todd and the pitch. Swung on, ground ball foul outside the first base bag. Count evens a ball, a strike now to Geronimo. One and one. Pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled. 1-2 to the Chief. Jack Billingham waiting on deck. Todd sets and delivers. Swung on, broken back single center field. Bench being waved in, charging Morales. Here comes the ball, and Bench scores, and it's 7-0. Geronimo picking up his 8th RBI of the year with a broken back single to center field to score Bench from second base, and we lead it 8-0. That'll bring Jack Billingham to the plate. Jack 1 for 3, grounded to second in the first inning, singled to right center field in the third, and was out trying to bunt, or I should say bunted into a fielder's choice in the fifth, the ball that Krokow threw to third to force Johnny Bench. Billingham squares the bunt, does, low liner picked off by Todd from his knees. He throws to Kelleher, and that's a double play. And we'll pause for station identification. This is the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
WMNI-FM, Columbus, Ohio, where you can win the $3,000 all-electric car and valuable prizes Monday through Friday morning on the Quadfather Show. All you have to do is keep listening.
2 away, and Doug Flynn will step to the plate for the second time tonight. Doug, in the fifth inning, bounced into a force out. First pitch to him from Taub is a fastball on the outside, and Doug takes a rip at it, doesn't get it. 0-1. Todd into the line, the 0-1. High and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Doug Flynn. Pete Rose had to leave the game in the third inning when he was stuck on the right calf muscle. A pitch from Willie Hernandez. Pete will be back in the lineup for sure tomorrow, but I imagine got a pretty sore spot on that right calf. Here's a 2-1 to Flynn. Swung on, bounced right back to Taub. Picks it off, goes on to Buckner, and that's it. But in the inning, the Reds got a run on 2 hits. There were no errors, no one left on base, and at the end of 7, Cincinnati 7, Chicago nothing.
Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
Now we've completed 7 innings here in the second game of this 3-game series to the Cubs here at Riverfront Stadium, and the Reds lead at 7-0. They've had 10 hits. The Cubs have had 5, and Chicago's committed 2 errors. For Chicago, it'll be Ivan DeJesus to lead it off in inning number 8, and back with the action, Marty Brenneman.
Thank you, Joe. DeJesus has not had any of the 5 Chicago hits. He has lined out, flied out, and bounced out in 3 tries against Billingham, and now right-hander Dale Murray just leisurely begins to warm up with bullpen catcher Gary Waits. Billingham has pitched a strong 7. He was threatened in the 7th inning, but was able to get out of that situation when Morales walked, and after an out, Ontiveros single, but then he struck out Mitterwald and got pinch hitter Bittner to hit into a force play. Only time the Cubs have threatened against Jack in the game. He's working to the plate. De Jesus swings and fouls. Strike 1. Boy, the superb pitching that we have enjoyed the last 3 games has apparently become very contagious. Curve swung on and missed. Had De Jesus way out in front of the slow breaking ball, and he's in an 0-2 hole. Check swing on a curve outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck, Jose Cardenal, and then Bill Buckner. Jack in with a pitch. De Jesus takes it high. It was quite a different game from the one that he worked on Monday night in Atlanta. Had the gigantic lead and simply laid the ball in there through strikes. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Has only walked 1 man. That was Morales in the 7th. Has struck out 4. And now 3-2ing to the plate. Chopped off the end of the back. Billingham comes off to the left to field it and throws on to Driessen. 1 out. On your way to tomorrow's game, stop by the Reds 580 gift shop, downtown Cincinnati, and see all the exciting gift items available. Pick up your copy of the Reds Highlights record album. Cardenal is struck out, fly to deep left center. Super catch by Geronimo in the 3rd, and then in the 6th, bounce to 3rd. Ground ball, 3rd base. Flynn up. Plenty of time. Strikey throws to Driessen. 2 down. Buckner likewise 0 for 3. In the 4th inning at Baltimore, Orioles 3, California nothing. And Toronto and Kansas City are underway in the 2nd, no score. Call strike. Chopper foul, strike 2 to Buckner. 2 men out, nobody on. 2 strikes. Billingham against Billy Buckner here in the 8th inning, with the Reds leading the Cubs 7-0. The pitch on the way to the plate, and Buckner swings at a high fastball and does not get it, so the side is out. 1-2-3. 3 up and 3 down. We move to the bottom of the inning. Reds 7, Cubs nothing.
You know, different folks have different ways to spend their time, enjoy their days. Me, I like to fish. I really do. There's something good about a lazy creek. Helps me relax from a long, hard week, like my Red Fox chewing tobacco, the relaxin' chew. It's soft and moist and mild for sure. The flavor's fresh. The taste is pure. Red Fox is best. I like it. Yes, I do. So I keep me an extra pouch of Red Fox by my side of my tackle box. When it comes to tobacco, those Red Fox folks come through. Why don't you try Red Fox? Look for it in the white pouch with the picture of Old Red taking it easy. Red Fox chewing tobacco. Now it's better than ever. So if you like to relax, and I'll bet you do, treat yourself to a Red Fox chew. Because, mister, taking it easy never tasted so good. Red Fox.
If you're looking for an outing for your group or organization, or if you just want to get your gang together, may we suggest Reds Baseball at Riverfront. More than 2,500 groups have already set their date for 1977. What kind of groups? Well, all kinds. churches, youth organizations, men's groups, office groups, business get-togethers, fraternities, sororities, taverns, knot-hole teams, senior citizens, block parties. The list goes on and on. For details, write the Reds Group Sales Department at Riverfront or give a call first thing tomorrow morning. Here's Concepcion in the home 8th inning. Strike to him from right-hander Jim Todd. Davey is 0 for 4, has scored one of Cincinnati's 7 runs tonight. Ball and a strike. Tom Paciorek has hit a 2-run homer in the 4th inning at St. Louis to give the Braves a 2-1 lead. Buzz Capra is on in relief of Andy Messerschmidt. 2 balls and a strike. Ground ball hit hard, but right at the shortstop. De Jesus dialing Buckner, 1 out. Griffey working on a 2 for 3 night with a double and a triple. His 2-base hit drove a run home in the 2nd. Kenny smoothing the dirt out on the batter's box as he comes to the plate for the 5th time tonight, although had a walk in the 1st inning. Ray Knight playing catch with Bill Plummer in the Cincinnati bullpen. We may see him going in defensively in the 9th inning, possibly for Joe Morgan. Here's a call strike. Or maybe moving to 3rd with Doug Flynn going to 2nd base. Ball 1-1. In the 9th for the Cubbies, it'll be Mercer, Morales, and Kelleher. Billingham will be 3 outs away from picking up his 3rd win and also chalking up the first shutout for a Reds pitcher hopefully this season. Swing and a miss on a pitch in on his 5th, strike 2. Todd, a Cub, then an Oakland A, now a Cub again. In front of Griffey, ball 1, strike 2 with 1 out in the home 8th inning. And a 7-0 Cincinnati lead we're looking at. Up high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Griffey swinging, line drive, caught by De Jesus at shortstop. 2 out. Joe Morgan. Been in some kind of batting slump of late. Tonight he's been shut out in 3 times at the plate. Well, good to see our director of player personnel, Sheldon Chief Bender, here with us tonight. Came to Atlanta and proved to be a good luck charm. Won 3 straight. Strategy. Pitch is high and outside for ball 1 to Morgan. Reds got a runoff tied in the 7th, but he set down the first 2 batters here in the 8th. 2-0. It's been a strong time for Reds starting pitching and a lean time for the relief corps. They have not been called upon very much of late. Ball 3. Morgan, who has walked once tonight, a pitch away from getting a free ride to first base for what would be the 19th time this season. And he is on with a walk as the pitch misses high and just a bit outside. Todd gives up his first walk as the inning continues for Danny Driessen. Danny singled across 2 in the 1st, bounced to the mound in the 2nd, and the 4th struck out, and in the 6th inning had a base on balls. First walk that Todd has allowed, and the 7th walk total that Cub pitching has given up. Ball to him. Todd checking Morgan, delivers to Driessen. Strike is called, 1-1. balls, 1 strike. Ball 3. Well, Todd got through Concepcion and Griffey with no problem, but then walked Morgan on 4 pitches, is behind 3-1 on Driessen, who now steps away from the plate. Todd, the 4th Cub pitcher to work tonight. Burris, an inning plus. Hernandez, 3. Krukow, 2. Todd working in his 2nd frame. Driessen, the 3-1 delivery. That's ball 4. The ball kicks away from catcher George Mitterwald. Driessen going on to first as Morgan moves to second. So back-to-back 2-out walks will allow Foster to swing the bat. George is 1 for 4. An infield hit in the 2nd that got in a run. Two on, 2 out. Todd finding the 3rd out most elusive as he misses away to the right-handed batting Foster. Pitch, strike, outside part of the plate, 1-1. Waving the bat around as Morgan and Driessen take their leads. That's strike 2 swinging. Tell you think about the kind of month of April that Ron Say has had over in the American League. California's Joe Rudy. This man has not had a bad month. 18 runs batted in. Project that over 6 months. He chops it foul. Talking about somewhere in the neighborhood of 108 runs batted in for the season. George down on the count, a ball, 2 strikes. Todd looking into Mitterwald. Right-hander stretches to the belt, he pitches, and that one shot into right center field and falling for a hit. Grounding 3rd, coming home with the 8th Cincinnati run is Morgan, on to 3rd Driessen. 19th RBI for Foster, 8-0 Cincinnati. George with his 2nd run-producing base hit of the evening, and the 2nd run the Reds have scored off Jim Todd. It'll bring up Johnny Bench, who looks for his 4th hit. John doubled a run home in the 1st, single to left in the 5th, double to left field to begin the 7th, and scored. He's 3 for 4, and batting now .262. Strike 1 called to him. That's low. 1 ball and 1 strike. The top 3 hitters in the Reds lineup has scored 7 of the 8 runs. Morgan 3, Griffey 2. The top 4 hitters, Concepcion 1 and Rose 1. Strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners occupying the bags at 1st and 3rd with a run home and a 1-2 count on Johnny Bench. He swings at the high fly ball, right center field. Jerry Morales calling. He's under, and the side retired. In the 8th for the Reds, a run, 1 hit. No errors, 2 left. We move to the 9th inning. Cincinnati 8 and Chicago 0.
We got together to do it better, and that's what we did.
When the Marathon Oil Company was put together, it was put together right. Because the whole idea behind Marathon was to do the job better. So Marathon get the best oil people, and the best pipeline people, and the best refining people, and the best service station people, and put them all together.
to do it better.
We got together to do it better. That's what we did. Real marathon. We got together to do it better. Real marathon.
Marathon Oil Company. We got together to do it better. And we did.
We're in the top of the ninth inning, and Jack Billingham leading with an 8-0 count here as we go to the final inning of play for the Chicago Cubs. They've been held up at 5 hits. And I would imagine right now the thing first and foremost in their mind is trying to keep from being shut out. They'll be sending up Bobby Murcer, Jerry Morales, and Mick Kelleher. They're the schedule hitters. Jack has never allowed a more than one hit in any given inning tonight, and has been in trouble only one time. That was the 7th when they had 2 on with 1 out, and as we reported then, he struck out Mitterwald and got pinch hitter Bittner to bounce one to shortstop that Concepcion and Morgan hooked up to bring about a force play on. As expected, Ray Knight has come in. He's at third. Doug Flynn moves to second. Mercer 1 for 3, a second inning single to right center. Billingham ready to go to work in the ninth inning as he sends in the pitch, and Mercer takes the ball low. Mercer grounds one slowly toward first. Driessen charges, comes up with a belt high hop, and goes to the bag. 1 down. Now Jerry Morales, who has popped out, singled and walked. The only walk that Billingham has given up, Morales got in the 7th inning. Pitch. Outside. Well, you'll stay tuned on most of these same stations. Joe Nuxall will be along with the star of the game show, no doubt with Jack Billingham, and then scores and comments. 2 balls and no strikes. Ground ball, left side, short hop by Knight, throwing to first, 2 out. So Mick Kelleher will be the man that will be coming up now as Mercer and Morales have bounced out. 8-0, Reds over the Cubs. Billingham now an out away as he stands back behind the mound, waiting for the Cub batter to stand in. Joe Wallace is going to come up and hit rather than Mick Kelleher. Wallace pinch hitting for the Cubs second baseman. He's a left-handed batter. So with 2 away, Billingham deals and Wallace takes low. Joe with a batting average thus far this season of, well, he's been up 9 times without a hit. Switch hitter batting left-handed with 2 out. And the 1-0 coming. Swung on, hit in the air to left field. That should do it. Foster backpedaling, waiting, and this one belongs to the Reds. A 5-hit blanco job by Jack Billingham as he becomes the first Reds pitcher in 1977 to throw blanks at the opposition. The Reds triumph over the Chicago Cubs 8-0. And we'll be back in just a moment.